To talk about the strongest tier list for the Gen meta with the new Call and Chester. Some people might be surprised by the unexpected double pickup gacha. Well, I guess the meta has changed a bit with the addition of 2 new characters, but I'd like you to keep an eye on where your characters are. First, let's look at B, C, and D characters in D. Well, C and D characters in C and D. In this case, D isn't normally used. Yeah, you don't normally use them, but the characters in C have attributes. Especially the ones with 2 attributes. Yeah, they have 2 attributes. They're characters with shooting, and characters with ice, wood, wind, and lightning. Well, the reason I put him in the C rank is that, in the current environment, with fierce battle areas and various new events, it seems like characters with 2 attributes are necessary, and they're quite common in the ranking requirements. Also, right now, there are only Seigen and Reno among the 5-star characters. People who just started playing probably don't have Reno at all, and people who started playing through streaming probably got him from the Lismar event because of the pickups, but there are still quite a few people who don't have him. And then there's Seigen, who's limited, so I think there are quite a few people who don't have him. I think the value of these C-ranked characters with 2 attributes has gone up. For those who don't have Seigen or Reno, I think it's a good idea to level up at least 2 of these characters with 2 attributes. Iha is support, Ta is attack, Tachibana is defender, and Kagura is attacker, right? I think that's right, so I think it's fine to train them where they're needed. Personally, I think the C characters with 2 attributes are more valuable in the current environment than the D characters, and for those who don't have Reno or Saga, they're worth training. Yes, next up are the B characters. B characters. B characters are, Shinom, Mino, Madam, oh, a Karuga. It's a Karuga. It feels like a Karuga. Well, Shinom here. Well, I'm thinking that a Karuga might have been better if it was 1 level higher, but this is fine. Yeah, as for Shinom, it's an area of effect attack, an area of effect shooting attack, so it's not unusable, but there are a lot of better 5-star characters, so this is probably the place to put it. As for firepower, well, it's not that great because it's an area of effect attack, but I have a feeling that she'll be quite useful in the new event coming up on October 9th, but I wonder if her ratings will go up. Well, let's hope for that. Next up is Minori. Minori's battle areas have become quite difficult recently, so I'd like to have either Iopapa or Seigen in separate formations. She's a defender character in both Invitation 1 and Invitation 2, so that's what I want, but if you only have 1 Oka, then I think it's a good idea to train Mi. She's the only one with an unreasonable recovery ability, so I think she's quite strong. If you don't have 52-star defenders, then I think it's worth training Akari. Next up is a Karuga, and a Karuga's buffs are really good. Even without using skills, it applies a buff to the entire party, so that's great, and it also applies a buff with its special move, and if you customize its uniparts and weapons, it will apply a buff to the entire party, so I think it's really great in that respect. Maybe I should have upgraded it to a. Sorry about that. I gave it a B, but I have it now. Next up is a. Here's a O. It says star, oh, it says legs. Well, around here, it's a 5-star, Star Na is also a 5-star, and its legs are pretty good as an attacker, but compared to S or SS attackers, it's not as good, and its performance is also modest, so considering that, I think this position is fine. But, well, if you train it properly, it's still usable in the current environment. Yes, the next new event will be on October 9th, when a lot of monsters appear. I feel like Star's area of effect attack might be useful in the new event. It's not a shooting or slashing attack. The shooting is a slash, and this 5-star slash has an area of effect attack, so I think it will be useful there. Yeah, let's look forward to it. Next up are the legs. Well, as for the castle, it has a lot of firepower against large monsters, but in the current environment, there are plenty of characters that can deal damage even without large killers. It's not a lot, but there are some, so when you look at it that way, well, its usage has become limited, and I think its usage rate is low, so I guess the legs are fine. Next up are the support legs, but the combat skill buffs are higher than the 4-star and Na, so the percentage is also quite good, and the 3-star duration is also quite long, so I think it's super strong there. To be honest, I put a Karuga and the legs in A and B, but it might have been better if they were both one level higher. But well, Chester and other 4-star characters are pretty strong as buffers, so if I were to use those two, well, I thought about putting them in A and B, but Chako is a tough one. With Ashiro and Ikaru, I guess this is how I would rate A. Next up, the S ratings are like this. Well, the S-rated monsters number 8, Kikoru, and Isao Papa make up the Narumi team. Well, as for the S characters here, well, monster number 8 has high damage output with his striking, is excellent at attracting enemies, and can conserve skill points. As for Kikoru, well, he has a spread attack and can conserve skill points, so I think he's pretty good. And Isao Papa, I've also properly raised the rating of Isao Papa. Yes. In this fierce battle area, it was probably impossible to win without 1 or 2 defenders invited, so when you think about it, this shield-free feature is incredibly excellent, and when it comes to striking, it can do a lot of work if you get it right, and in the new event, well, it was in terms of the ranking room conditions. Well, it can be useful there too, and I think there will be higher difficulty levels in the future, so I think it's a character that you'll definitely use there. Next up is Narumi Taicho. Well, Narumi Taicho isn't used much if you have an SS character, but even in the current environment, it's still strong because it can deal damage with its spread attack, special attack, and skills, and it can deal damage properly against characters with a medium chance of success. But I don't think it's SS yet. That's how I feel. I also think it's excellent that it has 2 attributes. And next up is the SS. Yes, these are the new characters. Most of the 4-star characters are mixed in there, and it's an interesting formation, but let's talk about them for now. One by one.